next one I just made up like 10 minutes ago, so it's a little iffy. It's titled Homework Sucks and So Do I. My brain feels like it's gonna melt. This sucks more than I've ever felt. The stress has got me throwing chairs. It's surely more than I can bear. I can't deal with all this stuff. I guess that I'm just not good enough. I suck, it's true, I'll surely fail. It's time to jump ship and bail. It's hard to keep myself together. My brain is flighty like a feather. This sucks. Wait, I said that already. My thoughts are falling like confetti. I'm a failure, yes, it's true. I haven't started and the papers due. Homework's a joke. I'll do it later. I must sound like a procrastinator. It's true, I am. I'm not that great. I'm doomed to suck. That is my fate. Oh well, I'm done. No more today. This homework sucks. I'm going out to play. This next one is actually a sequel to a poem I wrote my freshman year about a gnome that took my finger. And it had a weird twist at the end where like I got the gnome finger back from the gnome and sewed it back on, and like I poked someone in the eye and I said I was sorry. But like, yeah, this one's called The Gnome That Just Wouldn't Leave Me Alone. I woke up one morning and something was wrong. I had been asleep for far too long. Then I looked at my hand and saw lane 9. That dang gnome took another finger of mine. I followed his scent and put my ear to the ground, but the gnome was nowhere to be found. I wonder if he hid it like the rest of his treasure. I hoped he wasn't using it for pleasure. I bet he's using it to pick his nose. I would have been glad to give him one of my toes. But a finger? No, that I will not sacrifice. He better be keeping it chilled on ice. So I went to a wizard who laughed in my face, and I gave him a wedgie to put him in his place. Frustrated and angry, I went to a well that was enchanted by a magical spell. I dropped a coin and wished with all my might that I could challenge the gnome to one last fight. Then Don King came and said it was done. He promised me my finger if I won. 12 rounds of boxing, winner takes all. I was gonna knock him out like a brick wall. Then poof, there we were in the ring. I didn't realize this was the real thing. The gnome was tattooed all over his body. This gnome wasn't nice. He was clearly naughty. I asked him, why did you take my finger? I need it. He said, when I win, you're gonna watch me eat it. I gasped. Clearly this was retaliation from when I beat him in our first confrontation. Ding, the bell rung, the battle was on. I was gonna make him wish he were on my lawn. I threw a jab, but the gnome only chuckled. He reached in his pocket and pulled out brass knuckles. He knocked me down and started to mount. It would seem that I was down for the count. But then he emerged from out of the forest. The legendary Kung Fu master Chuck Norris. He high-kicked the gnome, which wasn't really that high. Knocked the gnome on his butt, who started to cry. I claimed my finger and told him to leave me in peace. If he didn't, want Chuck Norris to knock out all of his teeth. I thanked Chuck Norris for saving the day. Then I went back home to hit the hay. It just goes to show whether you're big or small, you shouldn't be trying to take fingers at all. And even though you might be in the choir or part of the chorus, that won't be enough to stop Chuck Norris. And the last one that I'm going to read is basically a memory. It was a memory poem that I wrote in class like earlier this week. But basically, it was on my birthday, and I decided to write it, and it's entitled Brotherly Love. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Tonight I get to play with toys. My birthday it is today. It's time to go outside and play. A thingy that my brother built soon would fill his heart with guilt. A plank on top a big round log. He said I would jump like a frog. On top the swing set my brother stood, with me on top the plank of wood. He jumped and landed with a boom. I could see inside my room. The second story I did see, my cat in the window looking back at me. My face, from happy, began to frown. Uh-oh, I started falling down. I landed hard on top my arm. My brother shocked, he caused me harm. He ran away, the scene he fled. That butthead, he left me for dead.